What's going on, everyone? Gelman with Wellthy Stocks back with our daily Tesla and NIO update video, making a 2-in-1 today, just to save a little bit of time for myself as well. But let's take a look at how Tesla stock traded today, some key support and resistance levels for Tesla stock, and what we think Tesla could do, and then we'll take a look at the same for NIO. So I'll probably paste a little link down in the comment section on the timestamp if you want to go to either of those, but feel free to go to either or one depending on either or both, excuse me, whichever one you're here for. So let me hit record. We will get right into it. Let's start by taking a look at Tesla, and then we'll take a look at NIO right after that. So small green day for Tesla. The way it was looking for a majority of the day looked like it was going to be a little bit of a red day. Nothing too bad, right? A little bit of consolidation happening. So let's take a look at how we closed yesterday, actually. So we were right above this 848 level. That you guys, saw in the video yesterday. If you saw it, saw a little bit of a gap up, bounce off this level, but it was clear in the pre-market that we were kind of already under this level and struggling to get over. But right out of the gate, we pushed up. We were at 840, right? Then we got a little bounce off of our level when we went down, got another bounce when we went down, and then we continued down, and we were below this level. And then we were, getting rejected by VWAP here, sold off all the way to 832. And then this gathered steam just a little bit to push above VWAP, to push above this 847. And again, when we went up, we kind of did a little bit of, bounce, and then we pushed up, went up to 858 again, 857.99, and then kind of closed at 854.41, up $4.97 for the day. Not too bad considering how it looked for the first half of the day. Compare that to the NASDAQ, we were up 0.43%. The Dow was down just a tad, and then S&P was up 0.27%. So compared to all that, Tesla's performance wasn't too bad. Let's take a look now at the daily chart, and we'll kind of see what we see on what the future of Tesla stock could look like. So we made a lower high than yesterday, but we also made a higher low. So we narrowed the range that we were trading in today. So what do we have coming from a level of support and a level of resistance? Well, if we were to see a little bit of a drop, right, kind of like we saw today, this 847 level is the first level that I'm personally watching, as it held up a couple times today, both as support and resistance. Then I'm watching the low of today at 832. And then I'm watching 826 after that, right? So those are kind of the three levels that I'm watching. If we see a little bit of a sell-off, if that sell-off continues, we could go to the low of 803 and kind of test that 800 level, before we start to rebound. If there's a sell-off. On the other hand, if we push up, I'm looking at the 860 level, which was today's high. Then I'm looking at 868, which was the high before, and then 884, which was the all-time high that we set just a couple days ago. And then, from that point on, it's anyone's guess on what Tesla wants to do. It could rally another 100 points for all we know, right? So that's what I'm looking at. Like we saw today, a little bit of a, push down and then come up. I think could be happening again. It's a matter of where it finds support. Remember that, we've gone up a ton in the past kind of few weeks. We've gone from the 660s to the 880s, kind of settling down in the 850s, it looks like for now. So a little bit of a pullback is healthy. It's essential, I think, for the stock to kind of consolidate for a little bit, push, and then go up. So that's what I'm looking at from a price action perspective. Some other things that I like to look at on the Tesla stock, though, as I'm sure you guys know if you have watched me for a little bit, is that AEMA, which currently is at 806. Every day other than this day on 12/22, we closed above the AEMA, right? So I'm looking for that trend to continue, hopefully, and for it to start pushing up if the AEMA catches up or if it starts to go down. So if we do drop all the way to 806, I'm expecting a bounce off of that, or at least a close above the AEMA, right? And then the 21 EMA is all the way down here at 727, so that's way down. And then if we take a look at the moving average, what we have is on the 4-hour chart, excuse me. Yesterday and the day before, we found really good support in the 20 moving average on the 4-hour chart. Today, what you see is in the first 4 hours of the day, we were below it, and the last 4 hours, we came right above it. If you go down, right, if you go back all the way to kind of 1228, we found good support at the 20-day moving average, sometimes using the 50-day moving average too if we fall below it, right? But as you can see, we don't stay below that level. I'm just scrolling back. We don't stay pretty much since this S&P run started, we haven't really stayed below the 20 or the 50-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. So something to keep in mind. And then the last thing that you guys know I'm going to point out is this on my Tasty chart. We're above this 15 EMA on the 4-hour chart, which currently that number is at $840. Looking for us to kind of close above that as well. Looking for us to stay above that. I'm not going to take you guys back, but if you've seen my other videos, you know that back in kind of August, September timeframe. Actually, let's just take a look, because why not? This time frame, right, we went from 460s, we dropped below the 15 EMA, which led to a fall all the way to the 180-day SMA. Same thing there, fall from the 15 EMA. I don't know if I said 15 or 8 there. Fall from the 15 EMA led to a fall to the 180-day SMA. Same thing there, fall from the 15 EMA led to a sell-off on the 180-day SMA. So watching closely to make sure that we hold this 15 EMA. We came below it for a couple periods there a couple days ago, but we've been above it nicely and looking to stay above it, and the 840s, 842. So just something to point out, if you guys are watching that as well, just, making sure that we stay above that. Now taking a look at NIO, so you guys know what is up with NIO, right? We had NIO Day just a couple days ago. Great new products came out of that, 150 kilowatt hour battery swap 2.0. We got the ET7 sedan, all that good stuff. So yesterday we closed near the 62. Now, one thing that I wanted to cover, I'm sure you guys know this already if you follow NIO, but they had $1.3 billion in convertible notes, half of which are due in February 2026 and half of them are due in February 2027. One thing to keep in mind though is, no, it's not going to open. One thing to keep in mind though is that what we'll see is, there we go. So half of them are due in 2026, half of them are due in 2027. But what I want to share with that is a lot of their convertible notes, which means they could be converted into stocks, right? And that's kind of the beauty of these. They're not really paying good interest for whoever's holding them, but they have a good premium if they get it converted into shares. So that happens. So it's technically another offering, $1.3 billion. So that's why NIO was down a couple days ago. So pushing up right out of the gate to the 64. We saw a little bit of a sell-off similar to Tesla, except the difference between NIO and Tesla today was that NIO didn't really turn around. It was below VWAP for the whole day and was kind of selling off and then pretty sideways to end the day. If we go to the daily chart though, what we'll see is a massive run that took place from 1229 until now, where we went from the low 40s, right, to the mid to high 60s. Because of NIO Day. Now that NIO Day is gone, let's take a look at what we have coming up in levels of support and resistance. So the first level of support we have from the EMAs is this 8 EMA at 57.68. And then if we take a look at the moving averages, what we'll have is, we're kind of right at that 20-day moving average. So I'm really interested to see if we find a good level of support there come tomorrow. So now that that's done, let's go back to our daily chart and we'll take a look at some levels of support and resistance that we had previously identified, and then we will, kind of see what the future of the stock could look like. So if we see, compared to yesterday, we did make a slightly higher high and a higher low, which is great. But the stock is definitely consolidating for a little bit, and with the notes offering, it's justified that we're not pushing up like we were a couple days ago, right? So if we see a little bit of a sell-off, the first level that I'm looking at is this 60.04, basically $60 mental resistance on the downside. Of course, the low of today and yesterday are should be a little bit of a support point as well. 61.41, 60.42. Pretty much that 60 level is my first level that I'm watching though. 57.68 with the AEMA, and then this 56 level. And then if we see a little bit of a push up, I'm watching today's high of 64.14 before watching that 66.99 we said just a couple days ago, which was the all-time high that we set after NIO Day. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really excited for NIO stock. I think 2021 should be a great year for them. Maybe we see NIO to 100. as long as they can continue growth and keep going at, what they're doing best. Bullish on both companies. Tesla right now, I don't own any shares because I'm waiting for it to see kind of where it settles down. I've exited most of my position, only playing credit spreads on that. With NIO, I continue to hold my shares because I think that there's a lot of growth to come. Not saying there's not growth with Tesla, but my personal trading style, I'm playing put credit spreads. So let me know down in the comment section if you're in either of those or both of those companies, and I'd love to chat with you down there. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.